Welcome to another episode of Jabb Boxing, as we will take a deeper look into what the term bob and weave is. In this video, I will break down the mechanics and strategy of the skill, as well as look into the famous boxers that applied it the best. If you don't learn this technique, you will surely lack in your defense in boxing. There is also a bonus topic along the way, which you fight fans will enjoy. So without further ado, let's get into the video. The term bob and weave comes from boxing terminology, used to describe a technique that involves evading punches and countering back effectively. The words themselves mean moving their head both downwards, which refers to bobbing, and side to side, which is also called weaving, usually to avoid being hit. Another meaning to this phrase involves using it in boxing or combat sports as a defensive technique, where a fighter moves their head and body in a fluid and smooth motion to avoid punches from their opponents. It involves quickly ducking or swaying to the side to evade incoming strikes. The words may be used metaphorically to describe someone who is avoiding or dodging obstacles and challenges in a skillful and agile manner. Although bobbing and weaving are used in conjunction to evade punches, they aren't exactly the same. Bobbing in boxing is a fundamental defensive maneuver characterized by rhythmic up and down movement of the body. This technique involves bending at the knees and slightly at the waist, allowing a boxer to effectively dodge incoming punches, especially hooks and jabs. Weaving in boxing is characterized by lateral head and upper body movement. The primary difference lies in movement's direction. Bobbing is a vertical movement, while weaving is horizontal. Weaving often covers a large range of motion and can involve stepping, altering the boxer's position more than bobbing. So even though the technique is widely known for just ducking, it involves more and is mechanically divided into two parts. The method is usually used against taller opponents as a way to close the distance without being hit. As tall opponents might have the reach advantage, this approach might be taught to shorter fighters as a means to get closer and land punches. Fighters like Canelo Alvarez and Mike Tyson use it at its best manner as an advantage for them to land their ferocious power punches. Bobbing and weaving, when mastered, allows the boxer to control the pace of the bout, dictating who wins. It's a skill that not only provides defensive benefits, but also sets the stage for effective counter-striking. An example of which can be throwing a hook after getting out of the way of a straight punch, like a jab or a cross. And by the way, if you like the video so far, you might want to subscribe, as I upload new videos weekly. Boxing legends that performed it best. Known for his relentless aggression and pressure fighting style, Joe Frazier was a master at bobbing. His ability to bob and weave under punches allowed him to close distance against taller opponents, making him a formidable force in the heavyweight division. One of the most famous instances where he utilized his technique effectively was in his first fight against Muhammad Ali, known as the Fight of the Century, in 1971. Ali, being the taller and undisputed fighter in this match, had the upper hand, while Smokin' Joe Frazier was the underdog. He used bobbing and weaving to cut the distance between them and land his famous hooks.
Frazier's not the easy target he used to be. He's bobbing and weaving all the time.
A method which essentially led him to his victory. Tyson, under the tutelage of Customado, became synonymous with the peekaboo style, of which bobbing and weaving was a central element. The peekaboo style's basic fundamentals were built on this method. Mike Tyson, being much shorter than your everyday heavyweight boxer, used his height as an advantage to bob and weave from the way of long jabs and counter effectively with short hooks. His explosive power, combined with his ability to bob and weave through his opponent's defenses, made him one of the most feared knockout artists in the boxing history, having a staggering 44 knockout history out of his 50 wins. One of the most notable fights where he displayed these skills were against Michael Spinks in 1988. Tyson's aggressive style, combined with his defensive movements, made him a formidable opponent in the ring.
He leaves the right hand, down he goes! I don't think you get up from this! Mike Spinks is laying flat on his back, the count is up the...
Rocky Marciano utilized bobbing effectively, although he was considered shorter than many of his heavyweight contemporaries. His bobbing skills, coupled with his relentless pressure and power punching, contributed to his undefeated record and status as a boxing legend. Despite being known for his aggressive fighting style and powerful punches, Rocky used his effective defensive skills to leave his opponents in awe and reached an undisputed record of 49 wins. Fun fact: bobbing and weaving was invented by a British slave. The bob and weave was invented by one specific boxer, then was rapidly adopted by many others. His name was Bill Richmond, a British boxer born into slavery in Richmond Town, New York. He didn't so much invent it, but instead popularized the effectiveness with British boxing. He was a welterweight according to weight divisions nowadays and had a career of 17 wins and only 2 losses. He didn't let his race determine the fate of his life and had many successes during his career. His sophisticated and well-mannered way of living inspired many other slaves of his time to also undertake the same journey as he did. The art of boxing. Technique breakdown. Movement. The core of bobbing and weaving lies in vertical and side-to-side movement. The movement should be quick, smooth, and controlled, just enough to let punches pass by, without exposing other areas to potential punches. For bobbing, you should be bending at the knees rather than bending at the waist.
Bending the knees and bending over slightly.
This up and down movement should be smooth and fluid, allowing the boxer to dodge punches effectively. Effective weaving often involves a quick side-to-side movement of the head and torso, with a slight pivoting on one foot. This pivot allows the boxer to change angles quickly and fluidly while weaving. The maneuver should be just enough to evade punches and not too exaggerated, to maintain balance and readiness for a counterattack. Posture. Maintaining a balanced stance is crucial. The feet should be shoulder width apart, allowing for quick lateral movements without losing stability. While the legs are crucial, maintaining an upright torso is equally important. Leaning too forward or backward can compromise balance and leave the boxer open to uppercuts. Throughout the motion, hands should remain in a defensive guard position, protecting the face and ready to strike when an opening is presented. Keeping the body compact and not overextending during dodging is vital. Overextending can lead to imbalance and leave the boxer open to counterattacks. Timing. Timing is critical in bob and weave. It requires anticipation of the opponent's punches and reacting just in time to avoid them. Delayed or premature bobbing can lead to vulnerability. A successful performance of this defense involves moving in rhythm with the opponent's punches. This synchrony helps in effectively predicting and evading strikes. It's not just reactive but also a proactive maneuver to disrupt the opponent's rhythm and create openings for counters. It is also important to keep open eyes for the opponent's movements. Losing visual contact can lead to missed cues about upcoming strikes. It may also lead to being caught off guard by a quick jab. Training. Specific drills that focus on head movement and footwork can improve the bob and weaving skills. You can do this by tying a rope across where you train and training your bobbing and weaving skills as you duck under it and move side to side. You may also shadow box with an emphasis on weaving, practicing it in front of a mirror so you can become more aware of your movement and posture, allowing for corrections in real time. Once you have done all the above and you feel ready enough, you may use them in sparring sessions, focusing on the defensive movements, which is in my opinion the most important drill out of all, as it involves real-life application of the training. And as always, keep your fists up and your passion for the sport of boxing alive. And don't forget to check our other videos, as well as leave a comment about what video you want to watch next.